G'day there guys, my morning coffee is the only thing that gets me through the day here. It's your boy Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the A-hole. I really hope that coffee cup doesn't fall off my bed and have a good day. Posted by user throwaway400-19713. Titled, Am I the A-hole for refusing to take my brother and his pregnant wife in after he told me to abort my son? I, female 28, was 5 weeks pregnant with my son Jack when my husband got involved in an auto accident that left him on a ventilator for a few days and then he passed away. This absolutely ended me. I was going through the worst days of my life. I had to go to the hospital, I was suffering from anemia because I didn't eat for 2 days following the funeral, I felt tired, weak, and pale all the time. My family, who hated my husband, especially my brother, showed up at the hospital and started talking about my health and how the pregnancy was probably causing this, and he told me I should consider abortion since, being a new widow, having health problems weren't suitable conditions to raise a child in. I was in disbelief. I knew he hated my husband and hated that I was pregnant with his baby, so he brought up abortion to get rid of him permanently. I was so mad. I asked him how could he expect me to let go of the last piece I have of my husband who was taken from me all of a sudden. I told him how my husband was so excited to be a dad and how much this meant to him. I called him selfish and insensitive for even thinking about it, and I cut contact with them after that. Now my son is 3 months old, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't wish that my husband was here with us. It's so unfair, and my son didn't deserve not having his dad around. Last week, my mum called me. She started talking about my brother's financial struggles, and how he could no longer pay for rent because his work project that he put money into got cancelled. She suggested that he and his pregnant wife could come stay at my place for a couple of months until he figured out something. She said she has no room for them in her house because she already has her niece staying with her after she and her husband divorced. I told her that I couldn't let him live with me after he blatantly told me to get an abortion just out of spite and hate for my husband. I told her how I felt and how difficult it was to realize that my son was rejected by him, and now he wants to be a part of my and my son's life. My mum lashed out saying that I should let go of the past and that I can't just refuse to let his pregnant wife in and cause them to be homeless. I told her no, but she tried to argue and pressure me into saying yes. I hung up on her, but she kept calling to shame me and guilt trip, and say that I was being cruel and selfish. And to repeat the title, I guess, am I the a-hole for refusing to take my brother and his pregnant wife in after he told me to abort my son? I didn't even really need to hear this entire story to be like, no, screw him. There really isn't any ways that you can redeem that situation. You can't just tell someone to abort their son because you hated the husband, and now that the husband is dead, that's a great reason to do it. What's wrong with you? Let that man live on the streets, you can't just get away with saying that. Legitimately disgusting. Not the a-hole, OP. Kick him out and keep him out. Not the a-hole. In no way are you remotely the arse, and you should continue to hang up on her. How would your brother feel if you told him to abort his baby because being broke and having nowhere to live is no way to bring up a child? I would never tell him such an awful and insensitive thing. I was more devastated when I learnt how he felt about my baby just because he hated his dad. You're better off without these people in your life, and you owe them nothing. Love your baby and give him the best life that you can, like his father would have wanted. Not to mention, would the baby even be safe around the brother? The brother hated the husband, wanted the baby to be aborted. Can you even trust someone like that around your child? Even if he doesn't outright hurt the kid physically, there's the chance for emotional trauma. Imagine the brother telling the kid in his formative years what an idiot his father was and making him hate himself. Well, it depends on the OP's family. Are they decent enough people who can be nice to a baby or not? I know mine is, but to be honest, being nice to a baby is an incredibly low bar. And yet we have seen, time and time again, that some people manage to limbo right under that bar. Not the a-hole. I don't know your financial situation, obviously, but you are a new widow with a 3-month-old baby. You deserve to protect your peaceful home while you grieve and raise your baby alone. Don't give your brother's plight another thought. Your brother is responsible for what he said. The way you feel about it is not her decision. Your mum shows poor emotional boundaries here. Come to think of, your brother lacks respect for personal boundaries in trying to tell you to abort your son. Not the a-hole, your brother can't be trusted around your son. Always interesting how "you should just let go of the past" only really seems to get mentioned when someone is facing consequences for their actions. Especially when it's the unsaid, "Oh, and also, do a huge favor to the person that wronged you." Posted by user Cake or No Cake. Titled, "Am I the a-hole for not doing anything for my daughter's birthday?" My daughter, let's call her Thea, turned 15 last Saturday, and due to the pandemic, we couldn't really celebrate it. I asked her a few days before if there was something special she wanted to do, and she said no. On the day of her birthday, I asked her if she wanted me to order cake, and she refused that too. She's introverted and doesn't like making a big deal of things, so I let it be. She spent most of her day talking to her friends on call, and I cooked a nice dinner for her and my son. My wife is usually the one who organizes birthdays and stuff, but she's been living with her mother for the past few days due to some health issues. On most birthdays, my wife is also met with the "I want nothing" by my daughter, but she does stuff anyways. She usually bakes a cake, buys some gifts, and cooks all of her favorite foods. The next day, on call, she asked me what I did for Thea's birthday, and when I told her my daughter didn't want a celebration, she blew up on me. According to her, my daughter is too shy to ask for things, and doesn't like asking people to make a fuss about her birthday. She was very angry that I didn't even buy cake, even after I repeatedly told her that Thea said she didn't want cake. According to her, these are things that should be done without asking. I would like to mention that my wife coddles my children a lot. I thought that was the end of the conversation. Later in the evening, my brother-in-law showed up with a cake and gifts for Thea. My wife probably asked him to do so, but he's very close to the kids, so I didn't think much of it. But then he jokingly said to me, "What kind of father doesn't buy cake for his kid's birthday?" I told him the same thing again, and he said that having a birthday during the pandemic was horrible enough, and I should have just bought some cake. I agree it is, but she said she didn't want it. It's been annoying me a lot. I hate how both my wife and brother-in-law keep implying that I don't know what my own damn kid wants. I just want to know, am I really the a-hole? I just did what my daughter asked. More information. 1. I did not do nothing for my daughter. I made pizza for dinner, which she loves. I also sang her the birthday song and hugged her really tight. There was someone who had a problem with that. My daughter isn't big on physical contact, but she likes to hug people on their birthdays. It's a tradition that she started. I was not forcing her to do something she didn't want to do. 2. The whole buying the cake on the same day? I don't know how it is where you live, but as long as I can remember, cakes are bought on the day of the birthday. I did not know this was something people didn't do. Unless, of course, it's a customized cake, and we haven't done that for the kids since they were 10. And 3, my wife is not a horrible person. A little bit overbearing, sure. She did wish my daughter in the morning, but she's busy taking care of her mother. I think I'm gonna have to go with a "you're the a-hole" here. I feel like you should know your daughter better than that, and if you don't, that may be a problem, and you haven't communicated with your wife enough, and she hasn't communicated enough with you. But if you've been through 15 birthday parties with your daughter, you should know by now that she is an introvert, and she doesn't like asking for things. I feel like you've either been ignorant of it, or you're ignoring it. I don't know. But if your wife is making as big a deal of it as she is currently, I'd say use that as a measure for what you've done wrong. Obviously, we can't get into the mind of this 15-year-old girl. If it was me personally, I really couldn't care less because birthdays aren't huge for me when I don't want to do a birthday party. Like, there's been a few personally for me throughout the years where I'm like, I don't want a celebration, I don't care, let's just have a normal day. and I'm completely happy with that, but it's different from person to person, obviously. I'm still gonna go with you're the a-hole. Updates. Wow, I can't believe the number of things people picked apart from this post. Some of you are worse than English teachers trying to find hidden meaning in blue curtains. However, I decided to apologize to her. I did speak to my daughter. I sat her down and apologized for not doing anything or buying her a cake, and her only response was, "Papa, chill, it's just a birthday." I did give her money, and before you get on my case of how unthoughtful that is, she usually spends her money on books or clothes. I feel those are hard things to pick for anyone, not just my daughter. I would rather she buy something she likes than be stuck with something she doesn't. I think the major problem for people is that I waited till the day of her birthday to buy her a cake, which means I don't care about my daughter. I don't know what to say about that. Getting a good cake isn't that hard. People keep saying that I should have pre-ordered so they don't run out of cakes. If the store doesn't have what I want, I'll just go to another store. There's a million of them, holy crap. Also, that one person who got on my case for saying my daughter instead of our daughter needs to calm the F down. I'm gonna end this here. Thanks to all the people who sent me an award. You're the a-hole. The reasonable question is, what kind of cake do you want? Not, do you want a cake? My dad did this to me, and I also refused. Not because I didn't want a cake, but because he made me feel like a burden. It's your kid's birthday, and your wife is correct. Some things don't need to be asked. It sounds like you didn't get her a gift either. Did you just leave that out, or did you really do literally nothing for your child's birthday? He asked her on the day of her birthday if she wanted cake. If that doesn't scream I couldn't be bothered ordering a cake, and I'm just asking out of politeness, I don't know what does. Who waits until the actual day of the birthday to start thinking about ordering the cake? Right? I mean, the day of, aren't you basically at the mercy of what's already on the shelf in a bakery? I don't think you can order the day of. I get waiting to make the cake at home till the day of, but even then, if you don't know what kind of cake your kid might want, and make sure that you have everything for it, it screams, I don't care about your birthday. It does depend. My kids and I love the really cheap supermarket sheet cake. My wife has learned over the years that I'm not being melodramatic when I say I want the cheap kind from the market. My boys are the same way. Ironically, my wife hates cake and will be happy with a nice cupcake. Edit to add, cheap supermarket sheet cake lovers unite. Posted by user Kerfertati778. Titled, Am I the a-hole for calling my sister an idiot after she fell for the Illuminati WhatsApp scam? In case you're unaware, there's a bunch of scumbags in Cameroon who pretend to be part of the Illuminati and message people on social media, telling them they're invited and will receive benefits like a massive salary and be a part of this secret and prestige organization, after the initiation and the registration fee of $666, of course. There's various YouTube videos of it, and the whole thing is so ridiculous. I don't know how anyone could fall for it, but lo and behold, my idiot sister did. She actually transferred $666, but the bank stopped the transfer, detecting it as fraudulent. She told us how she was joining the Illuminati, and she needed our help, which is how we found out. By the way, she's not a kid. She's 21. I was talking to my brother, and I said something like, I've seen videos of these on YouTube. I couldn't believe there were people this fudging stupid to fall for it. It's horrifying someone related to us is idiotic enough to fall for it. My sister overheard it and started crying and went to our mum. Parents said I need to apologize, and I said no. What she did was the dumbest thing I've ever seen anyone ever do, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Who does this? This scam was even more obvious than the Nigerian prince one. Most of my family is saying I'm an a-hole for that, but F that. We shouldn't be comforting my sister. We should be shaming her and letting her know what she did was so fudging stupid. Look, I'm gonna be on your side for this one, OP. She's 21 years of age. She should have seen that the 666 is a meme number. What the hell is she thinking that the Illuminati is going to go just recruiting randoms? You are so thick in the head if you think that that's a real thing and you're like, damn, it sounds too good to be true. Better smash that $666 button. Let's go. Wow, I knew that they were operating out of Cameroon this whole time. It all makes sense now. Wow. Your family doesn't want to upset your sister, and that's understandable, so it's obviously going to turn it on you. Oh, you're the one upsetting her. God, I'd hate to upset her too if I agreed with you. God, you're an a-hole, buddy. Rest assured, OP, you were definitely not the a-hole for this one. My God, not the a-hole. I would have done the exact same thing. Your sister is an idiot. She's 21 and fell for that crap? Even my 80-year-old grandma could see it from space that it was a scam. You were right to call her out. At least she's unlikely to do it again. Just to be safe though, take it as an opportunity to educate here. There are loads of articles online about how to spot a scam, as some more convincing ones might still get her. Edit. Some people are saying she shouldn't be shamed further, and I agree with that. She shouldn't be continuously ridiculed and shamed for the rest of her days about it, but I have nothing against him calling her an idiot at the time. You're the a-hole. Of course your sister is an idiot, but it's not kind to rub people's flaws into their faces and talk about how fudging stupid they are and how embarrassing it is that you're related to such a pathetic person. Acting that way is being an a-hole. Generally, the insults that hurt the most are the truth. OP didn't helpfully inform the sister she was stupid when she had no idea. For example, before she knew it was a scam. His sister had already fallen for a scam and had been made aware. She already knew what a giant idiot she was, and she probably felt incredibly dumb and humiliated. Then she overheard her own family talking about how horrifying it was that someone related to them was as fudging stupid as she was. That hurt so much because she knew it was true that she had been, or is, incredibly dumb. And also, learning her family is ashamed to be related to her makes it even worse. OP is kicking her when she's down, and that doesn't help anything. You know those people who tell everyone all of their flaws super rudely because they're being real? The guy who tells a woman they're fat asses and should eat a salad and go for a jog now and then, etc. Those people are a-holes. Since when has, but they do really suck so my insults are true, become a defense for being an a-hole? I don't understand. If OP had said, my sister is such a fudging fat cow, it's horrifying we're related to such a lazy food hole, would people be like, oh, but your sister is fat and lazy, you're not the a-hole? Mr. Jimmy Three Shoes rebuts. OP was talking to his brother. He didn't walk up to his sister and tell her she's the dumbest person he's ever met. So no, he wasn't rubbing it in her face. Him also refusing to say he was sorry for saying it out loud to someone else also is not rubbing it in her face. OP's sister is embarrassed, yeah, but she didn't lose any money for falling for it. Taking some ribbing on the chin is a pretty fair trade in my opinion. The kind of person who sends $666 to the Illuminati doesn't know they are stupid. They are a stupid person who thinks they are smart. Comforting sister isn't going to help, but a kinder approach than just telling her she's stupid would probably be figuring out why she fell for the scam. Does she feel directionless? Does she want to feel special and important? She's probably drowning in a lot of shame, but it could help her figure out the reason that she's falling for scams. Posted by user, no longer a doormat. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my stepdaughter to go ask her real dad when she asked me to pay for her plane tickets? So I married my wife Elise 12 years ago. She has a 16-year-old daughter Anna from her previous relationship, and we have a 7-year-old son as well. From pretty much the beginning of our relationship, Anna and I have never really gotten along. I don't know how to emphasize that it's not because of a lack of trying. She just does not like me. When she was young, she was just scared of me and afraid that I'd tear their family apart. Nowadays, it's more of a neutral dislike rather than strong antipathy, so I suppose that's progress. Elise is a stay-at-home mother, so she relies on me for income. As a result, I pay for everything for Anna. Food, clothes, volleyball fees, field trips, like I take an interest in her hobbies, I go to her games. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I try my damn hardest to be the stepfather I can. But it's so hard. Always giving me curt, one-word responses, always having to have an attitude. She does things to get a rise out of me. Staying out late, reeking of booze, always trying to sneak boys in. Typical rebellious stuff. But I always let her know that I love her and am there for her in hopes of her craphead teenager phase pasts. The opposite is true for her biological father. She adores him. Can't tell you why. He never goes to her games, always makes excuses for why he doesn't want to see her. He forgot her birthday last month and she cried herself to sleep. Well, anyways, Friday I came to her door to check her phone and read her messages. This is not a permanent thing, but she's been caught sneaking out twice in the last month, so this is her punishment. I ask for the phone. She says no, I'm tired of you checking my crap, leave me alone. I tell her I'm not asking again, and she goes, just F off already. You're not my real dad, you never have been, stop acting like you can tell me what to do. Before getting up and slamming the door. Like I said, guys, I'm tired. Tired of the blatant disrespect. Of being the verbal punching bag while still providing more for her than anyone else in her family. We haven't really talked since until this morning during breakfast. She asked if I could pay for her plane tickets so she could see her boyfriend cross states. Like I said, her mum doesn't work and her dad is a POS, so I normally would be the one to cough up the money. Not this time. I responded, go ask your real dad. I could tell she was hurt. Tears swelled up from her face and she excused herself from the table. My wife took me aside later and said my comment was extremely disrespectful. I said if anything's disrespectful, it's her treating me like a doormat and a credit card, and I will no longer tolerate this treatment in my house. I told her we don't have to be friends, but if she can't at least be cordial to me or respect my position as an authority figure, she can find someone else to pay for her non-essentials. Am I the a-hole? And to add more context, my wife is a saint. She does stick up for me when Anna says something rude or snarky. She just said stooping to her level was inappropriate, but she's a wonderful mum and tries her best. Honestly, a lot of people are gonna say you're the stepdad, there's a, huge divide here. It's not your place to be the one punishing her because you're not her actual father, yada yada yada. I'd say in this situation it warrants it, and also, what the hell is she doing in a time like this, wanting plane tickets across country to see her boyfriend? Buddy, no. No, absolutely not. That makes you not the a-hole from the get-go. I would be refusing those flights regardless. I'd be like, you're not going anywhere. But even so, if she wants to idolize and put her deadbeat dad on a pedestal, more power to her. You can have that golden trash bag right up on that trashy hill if you'd like. You'd be that little raccoon defending it. And because of your actions, you get the consequences of all the benefits of that situation while losing all the benefits of this stepdad. So, clap for you there, buddy. Good clap. OP, I can't fault you for what you've done. You've been trying your hardest. You have been a saint so far, and your wife is on your side. Just, don't stoop to her level like that. Find a more tactful way about it. Not the a-hole, but you barely mentioned your wife, her mother. Why is she not handling this with her daughter? You've been in her daughter's life since she was 4, as a stepdad, and your wife has continued to let this fester? She's continued to let her daughter disrespect you and continued to mislead her daughter about her father's true character. This is all kinds of wrong. She's tried, but to be honest, she's not great at this type of stuff. She is a wonderful mum, but tends to just excuse the rebellious behavior with her. She'll grow out of it. And like I said, Anna has been making progress. I think she's not good at it, and more that she bought into the myth that never being honest about a divorced spouse's true character somehow protects the child. Anna was allowed to continue with an unrealistic and incorrect image of her father. This just delayed reality for her to an age when she's ruled by emotions and hormones. Your wife is doing you both an injustice and needs to play a larger role here. She can't criticize you when she's not doing her part. She can't opt out of disciplining or teaching or guiding her child. That is the foundation of being a good mum. I always try to either speak positively or neutrally about my ex in front of our son. I hope he does the same for me. Hearing my parents voice their hate for each other always felt like they hated a part of me, if that makes sense. I told my mother that when I became a parent myself, and she started to cry. I wish I had had the words to tell her sooner. There's a difference in being neutral and letting a child have false hope. You were absolutely right about that. I am not condoning negativity, but delaying the truth isn't always the best idea. Okay, and I think that's where we're going to end today's episode, guys. As always, I do hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something from these stories. Just want to say a quick shout out to my Patreon subscribers and my channel members. You guys should be on the screen right now. If you do see yourself, I want you to give yourself a little pat on the back for being amazing and supporting me on this channel, this little journey we're going on the YouTubes. I really appreciate it, and you guys enabled me to do all this amazing work. So if you do see yourself, I love your face and I'm happy to see you. Also guys, if you want to pitch in your own support, you don't have to, but channel links are down in the description below to support the Patreon, the channel membership, whatever you want to do. It's kind of like tipping me if you feel like I'm doing a good job on this channel. I will be opening up avenues for content on those in the future. Just right now I'm kind of bogged down and stuck in Ireland, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway guys, with that said, I do hope you have a wonderful day today. Whatever you're up to, I'd love to know down in the comments below. I do hope you have a good day, night, sleep. Whatever you're up to today, tell me, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Bye.